All right, and 1, 2, 3, we're live. Good evening.
Hello,
This is
hello.
Justin and Alicia Enquist, the Justin and Alicia Show, and we are a little bit late tonight. We try to do it at 9 o'clock on Thursday nights, but I don't know. We've been talking. We might have to do it a little bit later, but it seems like our nights are getting so full, and we've been meeting with so many people. Our evenings, early evenings, fill up. We really want to be able to have a consistent time that people can know they can tune in, and we like to contribute and keep our conversations going. But
That's right.
hey, Jason, good to see you, and Steffi, and Rachel tonight. But we did want to get on here quick. It won't be too long because it's a little bit later. But we're just excited because we've had so much going on. I mean, I feel like that this year we should be in the third month, not just the third week of this year.
It's true.
Isn't it crazy?
Lots going on.
I mean, so much has gone on. I've already been on 3 major trips this year. I've been out to Norfolk, Virginia area, Greensboro, North Carolina, and actually Las Vegas last weekend already this year. And it's great. It has to do with looking at real estate properties and masterminds and networking. And it's wow. So
and then in between those, the networking and
then back here, with our work and people.
Exciting.
Like tonight, we're at 2 different networking meetings. One was with a bigger group, and one was just a couple that Alicia met early this week at another networking group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just been amazing as we have looked to connect with people,
Mm-hmm.
and as we have looked to find
very
ways to contribute.
Not just.
And Vegas with the David Fabricius Mastermind with Jessica and David Fabricius and some other great people out there. In fact, I'm going to share a couple little things here tonight about a couple of things we talked about there that have really got me thinking, and things that I think will get you thinking. Hey, Brandon, good to see you tonight. But basically, we want to kind of have these 3 questions, 3 important questions that David, when we're at his masterminds and with him, that he always asks and tells us we should ask ourselves. Every person should ask themselves before they die. And
Which means throughout your life.
Which means to ask all the time, because we don't know how long we have. We could die tomorrow, And so the questions are: number 1, did I love? Number 2, did I live? And number 3, did I contribute? And on the surface, everyone might say yes, yes, yes.
Sure.
But stop and think about that. Stop and really think about it. When you think about life, and this is something that for us has been something we've really been working on this last year, especially when our word for the year was intentional,
Mm-hmm.
and we started really looking at things differently. There's so much in life that we don't experience just because for what we don't know, or because we are afraid, or because
Think you can't ever do it.
we think it's impossible.
We limit.
And I guess that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how much we limit ourselves
Mm-hmm.
with our beliefs, with how we've been taught, who we've grown up with or been around,
What other people say.
what other people are saying. And so think about it. And say you're on your deathbed, or you're going to die tomorrow, and think about your life to date right now. Think about it. Have you truly loved, or have you truly shown love? True love.
Mm-hmm.
And have you truly lived? Think about the life. Have you experienced life to the fullest?
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried things out there? Things you've only dreamed about, or you've seen other people do and thought, oh, that'd be so fun to do, or I'd love to experience that, but I could never do that.
Done some of your bucket
Have you
list
done,
things.
what's on your bucket list? Have you truly lived? And that's one thing that I love that David and Jessica and their mastermind, they talk about, is how we limit ourselves, how small-minded, how narrow-focused we are, and how we keep ourselves from truly experiencing life.
Mm-hmm.
And how a lot of times is because, we are afraid. Fear, obviously, is one. Hey, David, good to see you. I'm just excited to share some of the things that you shared with us and we've learned, and how you've inspired me so much. But basically, we limit ourselves.
Yeah.
And then, we kind of settle. We put a cap on what we think we're worthy of experiencing, or what we're worthy of having, or we're worthy of. And then, of course, that affects how we can contribute, how we can help, how we can truly give. And so, think about that. And as David, brought these 3 questions, of loving, living, and contributing, it brought me back to my grandfather, thinking about him and his life. And he used to have his 3 that I think I'm gonna claim for my 3 and kind of carry on the legacy. But his 3 were life, love, and light. You know, you have love, life, and light. And the light would be like the contribution of being light to the world, giving, opening people's eyes, illuminating the darkness, in a sense, giving hope, you know, where there's no hope. And that's what, you know, I want you to think about tonight is how are you limiting yourself? How does your beliefs limit you? You know, it's not pleasing to God. It's not honoring for us to not have anything. It's not honoring Him, you know, for us not to be able to experience the world that He created and all that the pleasures and all the excitement and all the adventures, all the beauty.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, why don't you travel and see the awesomeness of creation and nature? Is it because, you know, why don't
Especially those things that you really long to, you know, I mean, a lot of those He's put in our hearts. He's given us the desire to go
if there's
see
something in your heart that you've always wanted to do it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Don't just wish or think someday. Start moving that direction. Start thinking, what steps of action do I need to take to get there? Just say, I am going to do this thing. I'm going to experience this. And go for it, you know? And then do what it takes. Because, I mean, that's what life's all about. You know, I'm tired of being stuck and limiting myself to only experience what others have told me that I can experience. Or that I'm only worthy for so much. I mean, the sky's the limit. It's up to you. And that's the message for tonight, you know? Ask yourself, have you truly experienced love? Now, I'm blessed. I feel like that I have experienced love from a great family and an awesome wife, and so I'm a very blessed man here and stuff. But even in that area, there's so much more deeper experiences that we can have, even as a couple, as a married couple. I feel like we've only scratched the surface of the love that we can experience, and I know that there's way more love that I can contribute to her, that I'm barely doing even anything of what I should be doing loving to you. Watch out, baby. Things are about to lighten up here. It's going to become a love fest. But, you know, so love, there's lots of areas that we can experience more. You think that you feel loved? I mean, there's levels of love that you can hardly imagine. And, of course, you know, we also want to make sure you experience the love of God. And the depths of love that God brings, only He can bring. There's a God-shaped vacuum in your soul and in your heart that only God can bring. But God uses people. He uses nature. He uses animals. I mean, He actually spoke through a donkey in the Bible. Remember that? So He uses animals. He uses cats and dogs for a lot of people to express love and help them experience and get a taste of love. And so, you know, go for it. And if you haven't experienced love, then maybe you can help others experience something you haven't experienced by giving love and showing love to other people. And then life. You know, I feel like as I have been seeking to experience life to the fullest, it's really happened only within the last year and a half or so, that I always thought I did, and I've tried, and we've done pretty good. You know, we've had some fun along the way. But as I have really made it, I've tried to no bars hold, go all out as best I can, just not just buy a ticket and fly there, and just go somewhere you thought you always wanted to go. Make it happen, do it. And as I've done that, it's been amazing the experiences that I've experienced within this last year that I never experienced in the whole 37 years before. Why didn't I experience these things before? It's because I didn't think I could. I didn't think I was worthy of it, or I didn't think I was able. And it's until I got around the right people, started getting the right mindset, started thinking and believing and acting and taking steps of action that I've been able to experience things I could and been places that I never thought possible. I mean, I've had my first helicopter ride, my first limousine, and the list just can go on and on and on. Experiences I've been a part of, and the people that I met, and the places I've been in. I mean, I've been in some crazy, awesome places, even in Vegas, that are not on the strip, off the strip, in these awesome places by being involved with the right people.
Yes.
And so I'm so excited about how much more life I can still experience, and I want to go all out, not hold myself back by my fears and limiting beliefs, and not being willing to reach out and network and connect and with people.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to say, the end of last year, your last trip of last year that you went to Vegas, I kind of pushed myself. There was an opportunity to go network with some lady entrepreneurs, and it was a little bit of a stretch for me, get a babysitter, go out by myself and do all this, and I did. And the fruit of that, I got to join this group this last week, and it has been really transformational for me to hang out with some other women who are challenging me and encouraging me. And today we were working on vision boards and stuff, which I've done before, but even just hearing some of their visions and goals and dreams, and I don't know, it just stood out to me again how important even these 3 words, how much bigger they can be when you're around certain people, and just, I didn't even think about that, and I should dream even bigger. And like Justin said, as you're meeting the right people, you're the
it's
ability
only
to
been
do these
meeting
crazy
these people
things.
that our dreams have gotten bigger, our aspirations have gotten bigger, the ability to visualize ourselves in places we only could see on TV.
Yeah, even the contributing.
Hey Julie, good to see you.
Hey. Even the contributing has been really fun with this group, because I feel like I have a lot of, I have a big heart, and I want to help people, and I have some ideas, but I felt very like, how practically can I do any of this? Well, this group of ladies has huger visions than I ever did, and they have some ways to get into places that I never imagined I could. And I feel like just by, being part of this group, I'm going to be able to expand my contributing hugely and be involved in something much bigger than I could have ever had I not gotten, involved with these people. So anyway, I'm just like so excited about what God's doing as we're pushing ourselves and getting the right networks.
And what got you to want to actually go and get involved in a group like this? I mean, because you never used to that before.
No.
You never even thought about it.
No. The people, the books, that gave me the desire and the even looking for the opportunities. Yeah.
Absolutely, Julie. Brad is awesome. He's such an inspiration to me. I'm so excited about what we're going to be doing together. And all the big dreams. Yep. Watch out. Things
just
are going to happen.
Tattle. You get those 2 guys together and they'll stay up till 4 in the morning.
Watch out.
True story.
We close places down, that's for sure. Get kicked out. But
it's so exciting. Justin's right. Like we limit ourselves and how God can use us and all that God designed for our lives by our smallness and thinking so small.
And of course, being negative and not being focused on the positive and not giving yourself enough credit for where you're at, the experience you've gone through, and the fact that you can contribute. Everyone has something to contribute right now where you're at. Yeah. But you can contribute so much more if you keep investing in yourselves. It's like you have to, in order to be able to have something to give, you have to become a vessel with something in it to give. Otherwise, you could have a glass, but if you don't have anything in it, empty glass, then how's that going to help anybody?
Right.
And or you could have this small little shot glass, and you're only going to be able to help 1 or 2 people. Or you can be this huge freaking cooler or jug and feed a whole crowd, or minister and influence or impact a whole crowd.
Let's just be a big well.
Or you can be a freaking well that never stops. It's nonstop. As you develop a system of, a water system that you can constantly help people. And you can have it going even when you're not personally doing it. And so that's the thing, is thinking big of how can I, and not get into where you have to do it all yourself.
No.
It's a way of connecting your strengths with other people's strengths and learning systems and ways that you can contribute, and not just be on your time doing it, but get to where it's ongoing. And that's the exciting thing, and that's what we're shooting for. And we want to encourage you tonight to think about your life right now. How are you limiting yourself? How are you limiting yourself in how you contribute, in how you live, and in how you love? And so that's what I'm excited. The more that you're around people that have this, the more it empowers you and inspires you to want it, and then you inspire other people to do it. And that's what's so cool. We honestly believe that your vibe attracts your tribe. And so we met some really cool people tonight. We went and that's why we're late tonight, on our call here, our talk, is because there's at this other group that Alicia went to, that this other lady sought her out because she could catch Alicia's vision and excitement and
she just
power.
Sensed that we had some,
and just, there's a different spirit about her. And so she sought her out. And And so because of that we were able to meet with this other couple. We consider a power couple because they like inspired us too. We're like,
we just
boom,
sat
boom,
at
boom.
this table just like,
We're like eating it up, just having a great time together, like a couple of,
feeding each other.
power sources, just making sparks, just having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing though,
So
when you start
refreshing.
becoming a certain type of person, then you start drawing those kind of people, and just it's like it's like a negative spirit or a negative person is like a spiral down, right? It's like a
And
spiral
we'll attract
down a hill, and,
them,
and it keeps attracting more and more and more. It's kind of like a snowball going downhill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and stuff. It's the other way around too. When you purpose to be inspiring, to be hopeful, to be loving, to be positive, then you start attracting and head in a different direction and attract that kind of stuff to you.
Open up all kinds of doors.
And opportunities open up, and so that's the cool thing. But you have to first see that you have potential, that you have value, and that you are worthy of love,
Yes.
worthy of life,
Yes.
worthy to contribute.
And also that you have a gift that God's given you
Mm-hmm.
to contribute and love, and because I've been thinking about that a lot too. Just what gifts did God give me? So we all have those.
Yeah.
So it's
And so that's why we've been thinking about this for over a year and a half now, and it's finally starting to kind of come to we're starting to catch the vision for us and exciting. But if you haven't ever done that, you need to do that. You need to get coached. I'm happy to talk to you about the Vital 7 coaching system that I got through David, that I've been coached in, and that now I offer as a certified coach. I'll be happy to talk to you about that. But I honestly say you need to get coached. Everyone needs to get coached, because it's the only way that you're going to be able to have a different perspective spoken into your life, and you're going to be able to see from different eyes, because you cannot do it on your own.
right.
Life is a team sport. You cannot do it on your own. I mean, you might be able to labor through and be lucky, and maybe eventually at the end of your life and stuff, but why wait till then? Why wait till your deathbed to say, did I live, love, or contribute?
It's now.
Why not do it now, and to be able to experience it and more, so when you do, you can say, hey, I could die anytime because I feel like I am living the life. I've lived, I'm loving, I've experienced love, I'm contributing, so I'm just going to do it as long and as full and as awesome and as deep as I can, as big and wide as I can, but because I don't know how long a time I have, and when my time's done, I'm going to die fulfilled. I'm not going to be afraid of it. And that's what we want. We want to live a life, to where it doesn't matter what happens. You don't have to fear death. You don't have to fear these things, because you're ready. You've contributed, and think about it. What are you going to leave if you were to die right now? What would you actually leave behind? I mean, what have you left behind? For a lot of people, it'd be nothing. Maybe a few Facebook posts or pictures or family, whatever, and stuff. But
What kind of legacy?
what kind of legacy? And so that's what we're here for. We each have a message. We have a legacy, and that's why our word for this year is message. And it's something that, honestly, unless you make it a focus, unless you make it a mission, you're not going to really have your message down and ready. It takes work. It takes focus. It takes, just like inside we talked about in our network group, which I'm the president of the RVRP, the Roanoke Valley Referral Professionals here in Roanoke. We encourage any businesses here in Roanoke to please come visit. We have an awesome group growing, and we talk about a lot of these things. And one of the things we talked about this last Wednesday, we talked about how inside an oak seed, for an oak tree, an acorn, how inside that acorn there is an oak tree.
The branches.
Everything's in there. Everything. The roots, the branches, the leaves, the trunk, the bark. Everything's in that little acorn and stuff, even though it's so small and insignificant. But what does it take? It takes that acorn being willing to be buried, dark, by itself for a season in order to finally break open and start to grow before that tree becomes evident. And that's how it is for our lives. That's how it is for businesses. They always have that season of where you don't see the results. You don't see what's happening. It's dark. You feel like nothing's going on. You're not contributing anything. But unless you go through those times and you stay positive, moving forward, allowing it to happen, being faithful, being watered, and continue to grow, then you're not going to ever see have that root and be able to pop out and have the trunk and the branches and the leaves, and then have more acorns and really become a contribution to the animals, the forest, and all that stuff for seasons and years after year after year. An acorn tree every year drops tons of acorns, an oak tree. And but think, if you stayed as an acorn and didn't allow yourself to develop, to be buried, to have to go through suffering, to have to go through a time of soul searching and development and working on yourself and only paying the cost of developing yourself, if you didn't ever go through that, then guess what? You're still going to be a contribution, because a deer is going to be able to come by and eat you, and you're going to nourish an animal. And that's great. I'm glad you're able to help someone by being eaten at the end of your life, and that's it. But how much more could you be if you allow yourself to be buried and hidden, and then to where then you can feed multiple deers for multiple years? I mean, it's just a different perspective. It's a mindset. But it takes investing in yourself. It takes being willing to first find yourself, find your message, get around others, be surrounded and buried in others in nutrient soil so you can be nurtured. And so you can then, split open, grow, and actually develop that huge root system, and then grow. And so that's what it's all about. It starts out with first asking, though. You first have to come to a place where you don't settle. You have to be willing to be an acorn and realize, there's something more. I'm tired of just being an acorn right now. And so I need to do something more. And so there's more of life that I can experience than this. And so the 3 questions to ask is, did I love, did I live, and did I contribute? And if there's any of those you said that there's a no in, then by all means you need to go full bore in there and figure out how to experience that. Get around people that can help you experience that. Figure out why you haven't experienced that. And if you have experienced it, praise God, great. But let me tell you, there's way more that you can still experience. There's way more levels and experiences in the life category, in the contribution category, in the love category. And there's lots of fun you're missing out on too. I mean, these are not all just serious things. I'm talking about fun. We want you to go out and experience the fun things of life, not just the responsible things, okay? We want you to go out there and experience the fun things and have a good time. I mean, life is supposed to be lived abundantly. It's supposed to be exciting, something you can't wait for. It's not just going to work and making money so you can give to the poor. That's great. That's a good thing. But why not go and do something you love and just enjoy where you're going and experience the fun? Like I went to work, and part of my work, and guess where I went? I went to Vegas. Vegas, baby. And it's not all just work out there. There's some fun stuff too. But it's part of the work that I'm in, the experience. It's all part of the life and the training and being around the people and meeting them. But it's all part of the whole package. It's a fun, and it's supposed to be fun.
And I would just add the ultimate experience of love, especially, by the time you get to your deathbed, is the love that Christ showed us on the cross. And, without that, none of this matters.
Yeah,
So
the love of God. That's the ultimate love and stuff.
Ultimate experience is God's love.
So you need to make sure that you've experienced that. And if you haven't, we want to talk to you about that, help you with that. Find someone that can, because that is a big part of our being able to love each other and love other people, is knowing that we can love because He first loved us when we were unlovable, when we were unworthy. And He said, I came that you might have life and have that more abundantly.
That's right.
It's because of that, and because of God's love in us, that we can now feel worthy to go out and experience all that life has to happen and have more abundantly, and that we can ultimately, then He said, now go out and make disciples. So we can go out and we can contribute to other people and help other people live that same kind of life. And so that's our mission. That's for us. That's what we're inspired to do. We want to be able to be, why we want to try to be successful is because we want to be able to have the ability to truly help other people in a way that we could never help them how we are now, or if we're less successful or don't have anything to give.
Right.
And, thank God we're able to help people now, and we're going to do that, but we just dream of the time when we can really help. I don't want to just give some money to help feed my friends over in Kenya and the orphans. I want to be able to go over there and actually build them a freaking orphanage. Help them put together a freaking farm with animals so they can be self-sufficient. That's what I want to be able to do. Not just give them a little bit of money so I can keep them fed, and they're stuck with living on handouts still. And so that's we're talking about. Think bigger, think longer term, and think how you can enjoy it along the way. So, anyways, that's our message for tonight. I want you to think about that, and we won't keep you up too much later. But if you have any other thoughts, please message us or comment. We love your comments, and we look forward to speaking with you next week. Now, We'll talk about the time, for us, sorry, but it keeps getting later and later and later. We may have to go ahead and bump the time slightly later than even 9 o'clock.
Just watch for us on Thursday
So,
night.
yeah, sometime
Pop in
between 9 and 10, we will pop in here and do a little talk because, we have to kind of go with the flow too. And so we'll try to see what works best, maybe like 9:30, 10, I don't know, somewhere in there. We'll try to set a time that we can be as consistent as possible. So, anyways, have a great night. And
Thanks for joining us.
make sure that you're loving, living, and contributing. Have a good night.
Good night.